Now, me personally, I think it was too early for Goldberg to do an interview post retirement. I think he should have waited out doing an interview talking about his retirement, career, all that. It's like a lot of wrestlers that have been released or they left the company, like they weren't hopping on some interview a couple days later. It's like Goldberg, to me, came across as a lot of people would say ungrateful, right? I have a different view on that. I'll get to that in a minute. But I think he had his expectations a little bit too high for his retirement. And he thought that he was going to go out like Michael Jackson, or he was going to be treated like Kobe Bryant, or being treated like, Elvis Presley or somebody, right? To be of that caliber of fame. Goldberg is a legend. He's that dude, but at the end of the day, he's not bigger than a TV network like NBC. Now let's break this down objectively. Well, what Goldberg actually said, right, in his interview with Ariel Helwani. He admitted he wanted more control over how the match and the farewell were produced. He had been planning the match since November 2024, but the actual buildup was short and didn't feel big enough. He was also frustrated that NBC cut off his farewell speech in just 20 seconds in. He's thankful for the moment, but said, "I wasn't thrilled. I'm honored they gave me the spot, but it could have been so much more." Now, regardless if the speech was airing or not, he still got to go out there live in front of his hometown with his family, with his friends, with his son, and he still got to do the damn speech, right? Goldberg, to me, he went out the right way. He put over Gunther. He put over the present talent, right, in his hometown, Atlanta. He got a lot of advertisement, a lot of promotion. He got the proper amount of attention that he was supposed to get. Maybe not the attention that he would have liked, or the amount of care or the amount of time put into this retirement buildup, right? This retirement angle. Here's the thing, right? Goldberg's not here full time. So you're taking time away from everybody else that's here full time. You show up whenever you want to say somebody's next. And then we supposed to just care about the next Goldberg match, and it just kind of comes out of nowhere. When Gunther and Goldberg had the little feud and whatnot, we didn't really know, or a lot of us forgotten, that Gunther even disrespected his family. And they could have put a lot more attention to detail when it came to that. Maybe that's what Goldberg was referring to when he said, or when he was referring to, there was supposed to be a lot more planned, or there was more I wanted to put into this whole retirement angle, and I had a lot of things I wanted to do with this. And how many legends, how many wrestlers get to go out the way Goldberg did? Not too many. I mean, Undertaker, if we're being honest, his farewell wasn't really that good. It wasn't memorable because it wasn't in front of nobody, in front of no fans. I think Undertaker had the proper farewell when he was in the Hall of Fame. Right before the Hall of Fame, that Survivor Series 2020 pay-per-view, where there was no fans, and so it didn't really feel special when he had his retirement. Well, Goldberg, he had a very special retirement, right? There's not a lot of guys in this wrestling business that get to go out the way Goldberg did. And yeah, he should be more grateful considering who was around him, the fact that he's been celebrated for so long, right? He's been acknowledged for his time in WCW, being the big star he was. And, he's been given his flowers time and time again. So it's like, what more could have Goldberg really wanted? At the end of the day, like, the dude wasn't around for WrestleMania season. So he's talking about he wanted to do a lot more stuff from November 2024 up until July. But you only had like 4 weeks to build this up. So if you really want to make this a bigger deal than it actually was, then it would have been more appropriate to build this, to start building this up months and months in advance, way earlier. than just 4 weeks, because 4 weeks is not enough time to build toward a retirement angle, right? Like that takes time. You got to plan those type of storylines accordingly. That's why the Ric Flair thing worked so well. Shawn Michaels, his, leading up to his eventual retirement with Undertaker and all that, like that was well done. Like that was months and months in advance. But Goldberg, we only saw 4 weeks. And it's not like he was on Raw really promoting the thing. It's like the WWE was doing their job to promote it for us, for him, for Goldberg, right? I don't know why I said us, but for Goldberg in his retirement match. He only showed up on Raw, 2 times? And they did a sit down with Goldberg and Michael Cole, and that was about it. If we're being honest here, there wasn't really much meat and potatoes with this whole angle. So to me, it felt kind of flat, in my opinion. So what do y'all think? Do you think Goldberg was being ungrateful, or was he being genuinely disrespected? I'm gonna let y'all figure that one out for yourselves. But let me just kind of play devil's advocate here. Imagine being a Hall of Famer, having one last match in your hometown, right? And the network cuts your mic before finished saying thank you. Would you feel disappointed in that moment? Would you still be grateful that you were even given the opportunity to even do such a thing? But like I said earlier, Goldberg is not bigger than a network, a TV network like NBC. They have their rules when it comes to what time a show is supposed to go off the air. And it's supposed to go off on the dot, 10 o'clock on the dot. The WWE is not in a place to breach that time limit. And sure enough, Goldberg's retirement speech was not finna be an exception to the rule. Like I said, he ain't bigger than NBC, right? He's not that big enough of a celebrity, big enough of an icon to be allotted more time for his speech. If you want to give him more time on air for his speech, then cut the damn match in half. Cut the time in the match at least 5 minutes, make it 10, right? And then give him about 5 minutes, right? 9:55 to 10 o'clock, give him that 5 minutes to say what he got to say, uninterrupted, and boom, go home, right? But my thing is, if he's so disappointed and frustrated about the speech being cut off, it's like, dude, you still got to do the speech, regardless if we was on air or not. You still have that moment. You still share that moment with your family, your friends, everybody that you care about, right? And with the fans. So to me, when I look at this, I think Goldberg expected way too much, right? I think there's a part of him that is grateful, right? But he still expected way too much. And who knows what he really wanted out of this retirement angle. I'm pretty sure he's going to tell everybody in about 2 weeks, you know, spill the beans, spill the tea, whatever. But yeah, man, let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. I'm out, and peace.